Welcome to the Louisiana bath. Also looks very similar to the Indiana bath. Fantastic baths, lots of different variants and options available. The reason I'm going to join these together, Louisiana and Indiana, you'll notice they look very similar. Main difference is this P shape and the width available. So with the Louisiana, you've got a standard size of 1700 or 1500, and then it comes right out to that meter wide to give you that really versatile showering size. The Indiana bath, which is very similar, comes in a fixed length but is a slimmer bath at 1685 long, which is again very close to that standard 1700, and you can get away with that extra 25 ml or so. But you have the option for it to be 700 or 850 wide. If you've got that smaller bathroom and you need that extra little space, or the big baths won't fit, they look very similar. You'll see them both on the website, but I'm going to talk through this video about the different baths and the models, but you'll notice they look very similar. Welcome back to another video. Today you might notice this doesn't look like a bathroom. We're actually in Aged Care Bathrooms lobby. You'll notice we've done like a bit of a fake bathroom set here with the panelling to go with the bath, but the bath sits here in the lobby. We've got people working in the offices upstairs and all the rest of it. So if it looks strange, or why we've got blinds up, outside here is the main road, so that would explain that. But today I'm here to talk you through the Indiana bath, this particular model with the big glass screen here for showering. It's more of a hybrid between a walk-in bath that allows you to lower yourself in case you are struggling to get over the edge of a traditional bath, but also allow family to still use the bath as a showering facility because you've got that P shape. Really nice bath. So today we're going to talk about all the different variants of this bath, any optional extras, the different situations, how to use it properly, how we get in and out, and then finally I might show you under the hood and talk to you about those little hidden features that are part of the standard bath we supply here at Aged Care Bathrooms to make sure you get the perfect bath. Right, so let's start with the bath itself and the different variants and options we've got available. This one's come with a hard shell seat, and we'll get into that in a little bit. That rises and lowers you into the bath, so it makes it easier to stand and get back out of the bath. This particular bath, like I said at the start, has this really nice glass screen here, and it also has the glass door option as well at the bottom here. It just allows us to be able to get in, and we'll show you using the bath shortly. You'll also notice, you might not see it on camera yet, but we'll show you later, it has a little control here on top, but you've got the air bubble and spa upgrade in this bath, which gives you that really nice spa bubble bath, you know, relaxing and exciting bubble bath really, so it's fantastic. This is one of the top models in my opinion because it's so versatile. Really gorgeous bath and works brilliantly as a family if you've got people that have got less able and mobility challenges as they get older, or if the family or the grandkids or all the rest of it are coming over to use it. So you can get this bath in a shorter variant, what they call a 1500. So if you've got that sort of shorter bath at home, there's different options available. This one also, if I was sat in that seat, I would get out to the right, so that's what they call a right-handed bath. They also do the reverse of that, so they've got a left-handed bath. So if you were to spin this round, it would work the other way. So, lots of options available. Okay, let's talk about actually using the bath. I'm going to show you how you could properly use this so it's safe to use when getting in and out of the bath. Yes, we've got the door, which makes it easier to get in, but there's still a step there, so I'll talk through that. I'll also talk through the seat that goes up and down and show you that in motion. And also I'll show you if you are having a shower as opposed to a bath and that sort of thing. So firstly, you'll notice we've got the upgraded model here, which is available to everybody, which has got this glass screen. You don't actually have to have this screen. It's independent of the bath. This screen folds inwards and outwards, and it has a rubber seal here that matches up with the door so that we have no water coming out into your bathroom. So like I say, you can actually move it out and you can move it in depending on what your bathroom allows. Whether you have a basin or mirrored cabinets and stuff, you might not be able to open it out, or vice versa, moving it in. So then we've also got the bath door here, which has got a really nice lock mechanism on the inside, which we'll show you in a second. But you just drop it down, and this allows the bath door also to move in and underneath the bath taps. That allows this really nice open wide space to get in the bath and also back out. One thing to note on the bath door here, we've got a really nice seal, and the manufacturer themselves actually guarantee this for lifetime actually, in fact. So it's fantastic. They guarantee it for life, so we won't get any leaks outside of that bath door. One little top tip though, what I would say is, if you're not using the bath, I would always leave the door just ajar so that you've not got that seal being squished over time for a very long period of time. Keeps that seal fresh, so you know when you're using it, you've got the perfect strong seal for your water in the bath. Also, when the bath is full and that door is locked, the weight of that water will actually hold that door closed really strong just under the weight of the water, even though you've got this really nice locking mechanism to make sure it doesn't open. So let's talk about actually getting in the bath. So you might think, first of all, with me turning my back to camera, is you would just step in forward. Not always recommended. You'll see in some of my other videos where I talk about the right way to use the bath. Stepping in forward isn't always the safest option, and also stepping out backwards is never safe either. It's not something we recommend. The reason for that is you're never really sure where the step falls as you come backwards, but also when you're getting in forwards, you have to do this sort of shimmying motion to then step back to the seat at the back here that will be in the upright position. So let me show you how we would use it more safely. So first things first, if you're a bit unsteady on your feet and your balance is not quite right, you would use the really nice button mechanism here to bring the seat up, as you can see now. Once that's fully in the upright position, you can just hook over the handle there. But what that allows you to have, it allows you to have a bit of a steady with your left hand in case you need that extra bit of balance to make sure you're safe getting in. We can also fit some optional extras on this back wall for you to grab hold of, some really nice chrome grab rails or something just to steady. So we always recommend actually going in sideways. Now, unlike some of the other videos, you might be thinking, well, you know, if I go in sideways like this, I can't really grab anything on this front wall because I've got the screen. So that would be the benefit of opening it outwards and holding on. It's so independent of itself, this screen, that you have to decide what's going to be best for you and your bathroom, and we'll have that conversation with you at your home to measure up to make sure this will fit. But in this particular case where I've folded it in, we can't actually grab this really nice grab bar riser rail, which I'll talk about in a second. So having something on that back wall and this upright would be a lot safer for us to use. So at that point, I would lean more towards putting your right hand on here, stepping in sideways, so you've always got that balance. And again, having something here would be fantastic for you to grab. Now, it's not the ideal scenario because now we're facing forward of the seat, but what we have always got is we've always got our hands or two hands on something to make sure our balance is always really secure, you know, and then we can go into that seated position like that. It's all about having that, you know, 2 or 3 point connection to make sure we've always got our balance right. Alternative to that, when we're getting in, you could also go down the route of you going in forward with something here, holding on, stepping in, keeping one hand on and doing this rotation, and again grabbing hold and taking that seat. The fantastic thing about this seat is obviously we can grab the remote here and lower ourselves into a bath, which is fantastic. But also with these really nice, you know, sides to the seat here, it allows you to actually use your pressing motion of your shoulder to get up really nice and easy, instead of trying to, you know, climb up from the base of the bath, which is really difficult. One thing to point out in using the bath and getting in and out is it has an anti-slip base to the bath, so that you feel safe underfoot when it's wet or not. You know, it just takes that slippy edge off that more traditional baths have. So yeah. Right, so once we have, you know, got used to and had a discussion about your mobility and what might be the right way of getting in and out of the bath for you, you might be thinking, well, Sam, you've got in the bath and you're now in this position where you're about to sit down. What about the bath taps and all the rest of it here? Because it's difficult because everything's closed off. So first thing, you can either get in the bath and lower yourself down, and we'll talk about that. But for the sake of the video and making it really quick, you can then move out the bath screen here like that and lock it in place. And then you'll notice I've always got a hand on here to make sure I'm secure. You can bring that out and then we can start filling the bath. Right, so let's talk about the taps. So no matter who fits the bathroom, whether it be us or anybody else, make sure with a walk-in bath that you always get the correct taps fitted, or a thermostatic clean controller underneath. The reason for that is if I turn those taps on and I'm in the bath, because I've got to be in it to fill it and I've got to wait for it to empty before I can get out, we don't want, by turning that on, for it to scald our feet. So we have this, you know, safety mechanism built into the taps, or a separate controller underneath the bath, just to make sure it doesn't turn on. Now they're usually set around the 38 to 40 degrees mark, but you might be saying to me, Sam, I really like a warm bath. It does have an override feature for you to take it to that next level, certainly once you're a bit more climatized to the water, so you can turn up that heat and warm it up during the fill. Now, a lot of people will actually start filling the bath before they lower themselves down. Some people will keep a robe over their shoulders or a towel just to take the edge off during the winter months, certainly, before they lower themselves down into the bath. Again, you can lower yourself at any point when filling that bath. Top tip though, don't bring that bath really close to the edge before you lower yourself in, because you lower yourself in, the water's going to come over the top, right? So make sure you lower yourself in before you get close to that top so you can gauge the water level. Turn off the taps, brilliant, you can have a really nice bath, and you may even, certainly with this upgraded model, use the spa function, which, you know, creates those bubbles and that spa effect to give you that really nice relaxation. The spa in the general sense doesn't come as standard, it's an upgrade, but we'll talk about all the upgrades later. Yeah, so you would sit back, you would lower yourself down into the bath. I'll not bore you with that at the minute, and then when you're ready you can start unfilling the bath and raise yourself out, and again grab that nearby towel or that robe to just take the edge off while it empties. Now, one thing about emptying the bath is most of our baths we like to fit a what they call a pop-up or pop-down waist, or a clicker waist, which allows you to actually click with your foot the waist on the floor to lock it in place, and then click it again to open it, which allows the water to run away. Some of the bath options available are also for a double waist, if you're thinking, God, I don't want to wait too long for it to empty. So you can have a double waist so it allows that water to run away really quickly. Another top tip you may have noticed in other videos is, if you're thinking, God, it's the middle of winter, it's freezing in the UK, and I've had a really nice warm bath and now I'm in the upright position, I'm going to be freezing. A couple of things you could do. We could talk to you about actually improving the situation in your bathroom in terms of heat, so radiators, towel rails, all that sort of thing. But also, if you have the option like this one where you've got the shower coming off the taps, you can actually run the tap or the shower, keep that over your shoulders, maybe in a standing position or certainly on your legs, just to keep yourself warm, because that won't fill the bath as quick as it will run away with the waste. So that's a little insider top tip to keep yourself warm. So yeah, let's say you've had a really nice bath, or you're finished, or you would like to have a shower. Turn the taps on, turn them off, click the clicker waste, and it's going away and it's ready to get out. You would bring yourself to this seated position. Again, it's really nice because you've got these arms that you can use to press and stand, and then you would, again, bring that screen in like that. Fantastic. I'll just quickly like that. That screen like that, and then we've got the bath door that will release the handle, open the door, and we're ready to get out. Again, if this was a proper bathroom and not the lobby of aged care, we may have a grab rail on this wall here for you to grab hold of as you get out, so you can have this, again, 2-point grab to make sure it's safe. I don't really like the idea of coming out backwards, but your preference is your preference. We'll work that with you and make sure it's safe for you to do so. But if we keep a hand here and there's a grab rail here, we can step out nice and safe, and then we're into the bathroom, ready to rock and roll. Yeah, so fantastic. You'll notice that's how you use the bath correctly, and all the different little bits of top tips there. But we've also got the riser rail here. I'll just quickly show you that. So if I bring this screen out like that, we have the riser rail. Now this particular model is what we call the grab bar riser. It's actually a grab rail itself, so you can grab it and it takes a lot of weight, and you just click the button on this and it will go up and down, and this will pivot and change, and it'll be to whatever you suit. But that allows you to grab hold of that when showering if you're a bit unsteady on your feet again. Whereas the normal traditional shower riser rails are very flimsy, or they've got a very small surface area on the wall, so they're not as strong as this. So that's just those extra little benefits or features we can add to your bathroom to make sure it's safe for you. So yeah, that's the Indiana bath in terms of using it, all the different ways you can use it as a family and adapt to your situation. Again, we'll have a conversation with you about, is this bath right for you? There are other baths available, obviously, but this one is one of the more popular ones because it's a very fancy, nice looking, gorgeous bath. It's a little bit more on the expensive side because the optional extras certainly in this set here. But yeah, the seats, quick one, just before we move on. This seat here is what they call the hard shell seat, so it's solid. It's part of this metal structure, and we'll show you that underneath the bath later to show you how safe it is. But it has these little chrome pins here at the back. If I was to push those in, you'll see it starting to come loose, and I can take this away. So if you decide this seat isn't for you just yet, but you want that in the future, or you're thinking of the future and preparing for it, you can remove this, put it in the spare room, put it in a cupboard somewhere else, and forget about it until you really need it, and then all you'll have is these bars in the lowered position, and you've got a traditional bath. Or you might find that some people in the household don't like to use this, or it's not right for them. They can just pop that out, click it off, and put it somewhere while they use the bath. Very versatile. There is also the option of having what they call a soft shell seat. It's more of a fabric seat. That fabric folds down like this and connects in the same sort of fashion, but it's not as rigid as this. So it's up to you. It's, again, preferences, what you prefer. Most people go for the hard shell seat because it's really nice, and it has an anti-slip base for your bum too, which is that extra safety feature built in. Right, so fantastic, that's the bath. Let's talk about some of the upgrades I haven't mentioned yet so far with this bath. So we've got the bath and the upgrade seat available, we've just gone through. We've also got the spa fitted in this, which gives you that bubble bath sensation. There's options to have a Bluetooth speaker system fitted. Now, not many customers or any customers of ours have ever gone for that, because it uses the shell of the bath to produce the music connected to your phone. Not something I'm interested in, or many customers are, but it is an option available. There are options for having one without the seat if you'd like, but most people go for the seat because they tell me getting up from the bath is the more difficult thing. And like I said earlier, being able to click that off is really versatile, so you can just have a more traditional bath if you'd rather. This particular model comes with as standard to aged care, a BioCoat. In fact, it may even see it on the side here, a BioCoat surface. It's a membrane, a film, you know, that it's fitted to the bath as standard, and that kills 99% of bacteria, things like E. coli and all that sort of stuff, after use, so that you know it's safe to get in and sit and bathe without any worries of that. Now, some baths on the market are not fitted with BioCoat, so if you are going to get one from online or anywhere, just reach out to them and ask them about the BioCoat technology that this manufacturer fits. There are different names for it, that's their name here that we use. Yeah, and we spoke about the optional extra of the screen. You don't have to have that, that just allows you to have that showering facility. Yeah, and then many different taps at variants, different modern taps or traditional taps and all that sort of thing. Showers included, grab rails, you know, there's lots of different options you can use to actually make this bath perfect for you. One thing I wish they would do, the manufacturers, is talk about the idea of having taps on the side here, because people say to me, when I'm sat down in this bath, I can't reach those taps. That's a big question we get asked. There are options to have some wall surface mounted taps that are a bit closer to the seat, and we can talk you through those options, but I wish the manufacturer would just at least explore that and talk about the idea of having taps in either locations, because they get drilled on site anyway. So yeah, right, maybe it's time to have a look under the hood and show you just the steel frame, show you how safe it is in your bathroom, certainly with a glass door, and why it's important to have that. You'll notice we have this really strong steel frame here with the bars that you saw earlier that go up and down to lift your seat. And what you'll notice is the steel frame runs right underneath the bath, right the way to the back and all the way round. The idea for that is, when we've got a bath with a door, I'm not an engineer, but my understanding is that when that bath is full and it's got us in it, and we've got a glass door, we don't want any twisting of the bath under the weight, which will then allow water to release from the door. So having that really nice strong frame just keeps the bath rigid, safe to use, certainly, like I say, with the door included. Now you'll notice there's lots of electronics on this one. That's for the spa system, the seat to go up and down. All comes standard, super safe within a bathroom. We make sure it's done properly with the correct, you know, electricians and safety in mind. But one thing to point out about this seat is, if you're in the up position or the low position and we have a power cut in the street or the house goes out, they come with a battery backup just for that extra bit of safety. So if that does happen, touch wood it doesn't happen, we have that ability to get out of the bath still safely without having to scramble or try and get our, you know, selves up to a seated position. It's always got that battery backup for you, allowed to do a couple of cycles before it kicks in. One thing I did forget to mention, which has just reminded me looking underneath the bath, one of the other upgrade options are the chromotherapy lights. I'm not up to speed on what chromotherapy does for people, but it's those lights that allow, you know, I believe it's for muscle and all that sort of thing. So yeah, we can read about more of that on our website. It will be all there for you to read. Yeah, so that's the Indiana bath underneath. You can't see, like I pointed out on a couple of the other videos, the BioCoat certificate I was talking about to, you know, kill all the bacteria and stuff, but it'll be here somewhere, I promise. So yeah, that's the Indiana bath. If this bath is right for you, you can also have a conversation about that too. If you'd like to see any of our other bath videos, they'll be on our website or on YouTube, so please check those out. You might find this is right or one of the others is right, but at least you could do is touch base with us and we'll talk you through all the different options anyway and what might be right for you with your situation. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll see you on the next one.